There's always some kind of trash popping up in the yard. Although, that's a fresh one there. I don't know how I didn't hear that one go off. I have to inquire about that later. You're probably asking yourself, where's Kylo been for all summer? Frankly, I've been busy. I've been busy training people to fly. And more recently than that is building these trikes. I say trikes because I got one in process out there. It's not to be showed yet. I've also done the property renovation, some of them. Pond, drainage, like the whole superstructure of the property has got a good backbone now. See my homemade irrigation system. We've had a severe drought this summer. That was the other thing. I've been tending to stuff. I've been tending to chores. I redid the gun range. The gun range has got, it's sprigged. It's newly sprigged, so it's coming in. But my main focus has been the builds in the school. But because I built the trike trainer, in this video here, if you're curious about that, I've had people that need wheels to fly, and we're to the point where I've got to build a fleet of wheels. And so I'm designing and building my own. I guess it's the first one I've gotten finished, ready for a test flight. The other one, I'm still drawing up the cutting patterns, and there's a lot of drawing. It's a tandem design, like a new design from scratch. So I'm curious how that's gonna come out. All my alloys are in. I'm building them out of chrome moly, 4130. That's structural aircraft tubing, roll cage tubing, but I got a small diameter and a thinner gauge. Still structurally sound enough. For example, this trike here is built out of steel and fiberglass, and it weighs in at 23 pounds ready to fly. I don't know if that's good or bad. I've seen some very expensive trikes that are made out of titanium, aluminum, exotic alloys, stainless steel, and some of these are very expensive, more so than what I've got put into this with 4130 chrome moly. Not that they're giving that stuff away now either. I believe I'll be able to test and produce these things, and I thought about leaning the school towards that because I do have experience in design and engineering and paramotor manufacture. I think I could offer up some custom frames so we could pick a power plant, and again, that's what I'm doing with the other trike, the tandem trike that is in production currently. I guess prototyping. It's in prototyping. Both of these are prototyping. This one I'm taking on a test flight just as soon as the weather breaks. It was good this morning as far as the quality of the air, but it was full of fog and visibility was impeded. I don't want low visibility on test flight with new craft, so to speak. There was a problem there. And also, I should probably tell you something that happened with this thing. The very first time I did a crank and a thrust blip, a prop strike, and it destroyed a half of an E-prop, cracked it in half, and I'm being paged. But I wanted to make mention of that real quick as a safety brief for any of you. I've always been able to fly trikes. I've always known what to do. I've always been able to do it. It's never been a big mystery to me. Anytime I've ever got on one, it's very simple to coordinate my efforts and utilize the trike. But something that's never came up because of my lack of repetition and inexperience with trikes is I just sat down in the thing, such as you would see me do here. And I'd cranked the motor and I turned around and sat down in the machine and I started to blip it just to see how it would roll. And immediately I heard pop and I killed it and there was no damage. And I looked back there and I was trying to figure out what it could have hit. There was no marks on anything that I could decipher. So I was like, I don't know, I'll go for it again. Vroom, vroom, pow. And I killed it, and I was like, well, that was a prop strike. And I got out, and there was no damage. Only the propeller was broken, about 6 inches from the end. It was an E-prop, just like the one that's on here now. But this is a new one. But I figured it out, and it's simple, and some of you guys who experience have probably already noticed. But this strap right here is a carry strap. And most of the time, when you're foot launching, you put in there, and that prevents that strap from going backwards because it's got your arm in here. But because I just set against this, it was just gonna be a quick blip to make sure things pushed and rolled right during my initial testing. I failed to put the strap up, and you can see the mark on the strap there, I hope. I don't know. It's probably terrible content. But ultimately, that was the only mark I found was on the harness strap. As I realized there was no hardware damage due to prop strike, I started looking for software damage, and I found it pretty quickly. You know, note to self, if you're gonna blip the trike, if you're gonna give it thrust, cranking it, you know, maybe that strap can float. That's acceptable, very likely. But if you're gonna blip it, you need to be in it and fully harnessed in order to let her rip. Otherwise, you run the risk of your actual straps that go around your body to be behind your body and therefore be able to get sucked into the propeller. So that was a shoot myself in the foot kind of moment, and I didn't want you to go through that confusion and turmoil yourself. You know, we could have built it up from scratch and put a motor on it, but I had this motor sitting here, and so I was able to straighten my frame out too. I actually jacked the frame and squared it back up. It had taken some licks over the years from students beating on this thing. But you just take out these 4 pins and the paramotor pops off. And there's also a strap that you would need to put on the front to hold the seat against the frame. And I've got some pegs here for the seat support. And again, this was made to be lightweight as a trainer, easily repairable in the event of damage. I've got extra axles and wheels and all these things. So if somebody crunches the trike, it's nothing to hammer it out, weld on a new whatever, and go back to work. The front steering, I've still not got it dialed in how I want it. I just used some bungee cords because they were laying there. I'll probably come back with some sort of spring device, a spring lever to center the front wheel, and also a mud guard. But I'm not going to put those items to it until I'm sure that it works and I'm comfortable. If I got video of the test flight, I'm going to record it. If it looks good tonight, obviously I'm going to try to record it, but the focus will be the test flight, so I don't have a brain slip like what happened today where I caused some damage on my propeller on the machine. But luckily I got a stack of propellers and I just put a new one on, screwed it in tight. I'm more happy that I diagnosed the problem. I hate that it cost me half a propeller, but that's the price you pay to monkey around with this stuff. I don't even know if you're interested or not, but let me tell you the story real quick about the tandem trike. I was gonna build this thing during the winter and have it available for the school. Those of you who have been tuned into the channel for a while probably heard me say something about it in some video past, but the motor didn't show up. It was one of the Pellini 303s, and they had some big problems with them at first. They was burning up, burning heads, and just good content. And luckily mine was on the other side of that. They didn't produce mine until after the fix was incorporated into the machine. So I got one of the fixed machines from the factory, and I had to wait on I got the machine before I could design the craft to go around the power plant. My family waiting, we gotta go buy groceries. Okay, fast forward a little bit throughout the day. It's 6:50, sun sets in 7:44 this evening. Right now it's behind an amazingly beautiful tall cloud to the west. That's favorable. That means thermal activity will be greatly diminished the last hour of the day. Conditions are predicted to be pretty calm, and I feel confident that it should be good for some test flying. Oh yeah. Yeah. Come on. I believe I'm going to use the Charger 2 size 28 as my weapon of choice, just for the docile inflation. But oh, my bipod tipped over there with the iPhone. Mechanical catastrophe inside the truck. It's okay, it's hanging by the charger. Story of my life. Knocking cameras over and pulling wires out of stuff. So here I am. I'm just curious how long it'll set up. I think what my goal as far as video making tonight will be. Now I'm gonna be focused on test flying, so the vlog is probably gonna suck. They usually suck anyway, my apologies. But what I'm probably gonna do is just set up the camera and probably put the vlog, just get some different angles of it. In case something looks weird, we'll have some footage to research about the actual unit itself. But what I wanted to do was set up a timer and see if we can see just how long it takes at a leisurely pace to get the equipment set up. See thunderheads to the north, thunderheads to the southeast. The winds were predicted to be southeast, but I think they're going pretty calm. So I think we're in a pretty calm condition. I'm all by myself at the field tonight. After the rain came up, the students, they live close, they bailed. Monday they'll be back, and we'll continue our training operations with them and hopefully have a new tool to mess with too. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue to build a few of these things to spec out the fleet as far as having wheeled options for students. Grass looks good, don't it? This looks like a good spot to park. All right, y'all, I'm gonna hit go on the timer, and then we'll come back and see what the time says on it. That good content? Probably invisible. That's okay, I'll read it to you. Just a regular pace to get the gear out, get set up. From the time I pull up, it's just time to go. Using zip ties to make some makeshift line hangers on here. Yeah, pretty much zero. $10 minutes and 27 seconds, so 10 and a half. I'm gonna click resume, set the camera up here on top. Maybe you can see what's going on. Okay, that should catch me. This one appears to have batteries in it. I'm by myself, so I'm bringing a phone with me in case I need to communicate. Got enough fuel to make a couple laps. I'm not worried about. I got my seat attached. That's nice and tight. Take this loose strap, tuck it away. My throttle's good. Uh-oh, I didn't cut one of the zip ties. That's a prop strike risk. How did I miss? It's camouflage. It's the color of the titanium. Oh, that's hilarious. Looks like I got a half-mile-an-hour tailwind too. I'm going to disregard that. That's what you consider nil. If it's a half a mile an hour, I think I got the Alzheimer's. I grabbed another zip tie. What I needed was the cutters. There we go. One of these days I'll get it together. But this is going to be a short flight. It's not meant to be a super long flight. We're gonna get, if the taxi's good, the takeoff's good, and it lands good, we may do another round. Who knows? There we go. And then before I rev it too much, we'll get in there. Make sure I got these straps accounted for so that nothing gets pulled backwards. Now I still got a little work I want to do on the feet, on the steering. All right, that's satisfactory to me. And I like what everything looks like. Let me back it up here and clip it in. Alrighty, I like the way that looks. Checkity check. Pull these lines nice and tight so that nothing's likely to get pulled in upon initiation. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. If you have any loose-ish lines, this is the time that you want to get those things right. Okay, so I like it. I'm at the end of the lines, wings laid out, wind steady 0. Now, let's look at the radar one last time. Make sure we're not flying into the danger zone. 17 minutes, 18 seconds before startup. Let's push play, get the loop. There's 6 images. You know, there's a gust front out there, but it's petering out. There's nothing behind it falling too hard. I may actually get a little wind. We're gonna see. I'm gonna put it on and start it from the seat. Yep. There we go. Let me get the controls here and here. Same thing over here. Toggle A. Feet on there. Wind's good. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. We got smoke going in variable directions. That's fun. Big thunderhead over yonder way. That's the shade that we were seeing earlier. Oh, looks like I got a bit of a drainage problem. I'm gonna wait for that to dry out completely before I come back to mess with it. I'm gonna maybe do a touch and go over here on the downside. I know the video camera won't show it up very well. It may be a little high. Okay, let's go left a bit and then back into the power some. See if I can do a touch and go in front of the camera. Oh yeah, that's nice. I wonder how good it turns to the right. I've only done left turns. I'm gonna do one more over here. It kind of limits weight shift, which it's supposed to. I got the seat board underneath me. It keeps it from really, it makes it a little more stable, but it's more handsy. You don't get that. That's one of the cons of wheels. The swept wheels are real nice. When you come in at a cant, it wants to self-right. That's the, if you got straight axles, it wants to kind of switch on you when you hit. Jimmy, got some nice steady smoke down low there. It's the first flight on the wheels, number 1. Woo, touch and go on the side of the road here. Let's give it a try here. Oh, tall grass. Ah, so that's what tall grass feels like. Well, I wonder what a touchdown on concrete feels like. I don't know, let's kiss it and see, huh? Nice and soft. That little bit of wind we're seeing may be that from the gust front coming in. You know, it's not much, but just a little bit. We're gonna kiss the ground. Whoa, yeah, there's bump. Oh, there's lift. Turbulence. Turbulence. Let's see how it lands in turbulence. Ah, not bad. Oh, there it is. There's the gust front. I flew right into that son of a bitch. Let me turn around. smoke. I mean, I think I'm gonna be able to navigate this gust front just fine. It didn't look like anything spooky or scary. Yeah, you can see the smoke is leaning over a lot more now. Wind picked up suddenly, but not to a great extent. I mean, we're talking, it went from 0 to 5. So I went back in time lapse the last 20 minutes of the footage, and as you can see here before I'm going, the wind is just nil. There's just nothing moving the windsock, maybe a 1 mile an hour gust. But watch what happens when I start making these flights here, making the loops. You'll see it all of a sudden stand out due to the little gust front that hit. Yeah, right about there. See, it starts to whip around. There's some bumps in the air now. Obviously, it was mild, and look, it starts to dissipate, and it's just swinging around a little bit. And then I come around and do the landing, but I just wanted to show you that. Straight out of the south. Yeah, that's acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. Yeah, it takes on a different character when you've got the trike and the extra weight. It really does. See if I can do a motor off, power off, touch and go. Whoa, bumps, maybe. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. A little squirrely there, but that's okay. I'm near the edge of the tree line, that doesn't help. Yeah, nothing too extreme, just some mild turbulence. I'm still sort of at the edge of it. I feel it. I feel it for sure. Swinging around a bit. Little hand pressure when I get low. Boom. Keep on the hand pressure. Slowly raise the hand pressure. Woo-hoo. I wonder if we're getting something coming from that way. Now that all that smoke is shifted to the west, and I'm feeling some bumps here. I don't know. Sorry, I always get distracted by the weather. I kind of know what I'm dealing with the flying machine at this juncture, so that's not so much on my mind anymore. I'm good with that. It was a successful test flight. Let's see if I can do one more successful landing, and then we'll call it over with, huh? I still see good conditions at the windsock, so I know if I could get in there and put her down nice, be all right. Kill switch, steer under the glider. Yeah, there we go. Lay her down right in front of me there. You know, there's an art to laying your glider down on its face too, in case you didn't know that. I'll tell you about that in another video. All right. So, mission complete. I called the gust front correctly. I was able to do my test takeoff and landing in smooth conditions, and then also in bumpy conditions, just to get a better feel for how this thing rolls. I don't know if this camera worked or not. We'll find out in the final footage. I'm calling the I'm calling the quit. Just kidding, I've come too far to quit. I'm gonna turn this one off. I'm gonna go ahead and call the trike a success on the first test run. I'm gonna see if there's any damage or just how much rigmarole is going on with it, but so far so good, I like it. Curious what the third perspective footage looks like. See how the wheels canted out a little bit? I did it on purpose, so when you sit it flat in it with the weight, it bows in and straightens up. I don't know how close I actually got to it, but it feels really stable when you're rolling. With the swept wheel design, I really like that. I'm gonna mimic a similar design, except similar footing with the wheels, with the tandem trike that's currently under prototyping. Hope you join me back for that. I will have some content coming. I don't know just how much I'll get to, as life has taken some turns recently. There's been several deaths in the family this year, so it's been tough. There's been some, but that's where I've been, and that's what's been going on, and all's good. This ain't a sympathy letter. This is more about test flight, all this stuff. I just want to throw that in there in case any of you had concerns. Anytime I go a gap without making a video, inevitably I get the, hey, you okay? We ain't heard from you in a while. Yeah, typically I am, but you know, sometimes I'm not. I'm a human like the rest of you. Have my ups and downs. For the most part, things have been really up, and I'm still happy to be doing what I'm doing and sharing what I can with you. And I've still got buckets of content available, ready to edit, but that's been the latest with Kylo. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you subscribe, stick around for more. Thanks for liking and watching the video. Much love. Kyle out.